What's up, everybody, and welcome to a poll rundown. What is this video? I don't know what this is. Well, if you don't know what this is, I look over the poll. I tell you what it's about. It's been a while. I'm sorry. I hate the poll system just as much as you do, but it's important we do this. So here we are. We're gonna vote. That's what we're gonna do. As always, poll rundown is about me telling you how I will be voting, but also going over both sides at least a little bit. First and foremost, I gotta say that this dev blog. Thank you, Jagex, for finally actually listening to your player base. And I guess listening to the general aura of, can we please have more information about the things that you are updating? So, excuse me. So if you click on the dev blog, if you click on any of the little information bubbles in this poll, you're certainly going to get a lot more information than you used to. In the case of this first question, which is basically TLDR, should there be a second Jad after Jad that will bring new best in slot capes into the game? I am definitely a big fan of new best in slot capes. I think it's one of the only places in the game in terms of equipment that has room for offensive stat increase, especially when it comes to range and mage. The increases for the mage cape is +2. Real simple. It also compares the God cape to the new cape, which is really nice. But basically, you're getting a lot of defense bonuses, but the relevant bonuses that are changing or are getting buffed for the mage cape version, it's +2 to your magic defense and +2 more than the magic attack than the God cape has, which again is pretty cool. The one thing that is kind of questionable with the mage cape is that you're getting 5% extra magic damage. Again, it has I believe across the board pretty much the same defenses as the fire cape, except for +1. Again, this is the same across all these new capes. They get +12 in all the relevant defense bonuses. Of course, in their own style or their or the opposing combat triangle style, they don't get as much stats. I won't blather on too much about their stats. I think they're pretty reasonable, and I would love to see them in the game. I have for a long time. I didn't think Jad 2 was the way it was going to be happening, but hopefully, for me at least, that gets passed. If you're voting no, obviously you're not a fan of a Fight Cave expansion and or the capes seem too powerful to you. Makes sense, perfectly acceptable. Should the PJ timer found in PvP Worlds be added to Deadman mode? Pretty simple for me. I'm voting no. I know a lot of people aren't playing Deadman mode anymore and might not understand what this question means, but Deadman for me is supposed to be the most unadulterated wilderness PvP experience, and adding something like a PJ timer doesn't make much sense to me. Question 3. Declaws in Deadman. Should dragons basically have an incredibly rare chance of dropping declaws? Yeah, why the fuck not? Give the people the declaws. It's not in the main game. Knock yourself out. I think it'd be kind of interesting in Deadman. It would certainly provide more content, maybe get more people playing that game mode, because God knows I think they need it. Should wilderness bosses in Deadman mode have an extremely slim chance of dropping the PvP armors? Back in the day, the Statius Morgan and Zuriel PvP armors. For whatever reason, we're missing out on Vesta. Vesta was kind of the same as Statius in a sense, so one had slightly better strength bonus, the other had slightly better defense bonus. I don't honestly remember if that's actually true, but let's go with that for now. Again, I'm a big fan of this. I think Deadman deserves to have high tier, extremely rare things, because I think one of its biggest issues right now on an economic level is that if you have the gear you want, you can pretty much have it. With the exception of God Wars armors, they're kind of hard to get their hands on because there's just not many people at God Wars bosses. But spreading PvP out and letting there be more places for people to actually successfully do PvM to get these armors in the game, I think that's pretty reasonable. And I really like these armors from a PvP standpoint. And I was a big fan of them potentially being dropped by these bosses in the first place when they were pulled years ago, it feels like. So for me, I'm voting yes. Should the Bounty Hunter shop be opened in Deadman worlds? So this is interesting. I don't see why not. It's one of these things that yeah, okay, emblems, you would get them from the wildy bosses. Yeah, sure. I mean, I haven't really thought this out, to be perfectly honest. But it's part of the main game. It should be in Deadman. That's kind of where I'm going. I'm sure there's someone who has thought of some reason that oh, the stuff from the Bounty Hunter shop is OP. I don't really know what that is at this moment, and again, why I hate the polling system. Even I am too lazy to go figure that out. So, and you guys know how much I like to look into these poll questions. So Moving on. Should the Nightmare Zone ring imbues be added to the Bounty Hunter shop in Dead Men Worlds only? Interesting question. I'm not really sure. This is one where I would really like, and I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and vote yes, just because I honestly feel like this is failing. But at the same time, the whole Nightmare Zone thing with Dead Man is impossible. Again, it's kind of hypocritical saying that like we should have all the things that we had in the main game, but here, I don't feel like this should be coming through a different source. It's a little complicated. It does, however, really emphasize going out and killing wildy bosses, which might revive the wildy in Dead Man, so that's certainly not a bad thing. So I'm all about wildy revival. We'll say yes, and honestly, we'll give my reasoning a big question mark, because I don't know, it wasn't exactly super solid. Should new Dead Man mode accounts be unattackable for the first 6 hours of gameplay? This is basically to protect new people, and it's to give people who first start playing Dead Man a chance to get a start. I think that's a really good addition. I have to say that like there is a very easy way to abuse this. You could just continue making accounts to merchant and things like that, and safe zones and stuff. So there definitely is a level of abuse that can go on here, but I think that's the safest way and maybe the best way of getting more people into playing Dead Man who haven't jumped on the bandwagon just yet. If you kill an unskulled player more than 40 combat levels lower than you, should you be prevented from receiving a bank key? This, again, same kind of institution. However, I'm voting no, because once again, Dead Man is about killing people, and if they are a lower combat level, sucks to be them. I think that there's a line I'm drawing, basically, of how much protection lower levels should be given. I think you've crossed that point. Now, granted, once you are combat level 86, you are attackable by everyone, and pretty much everyone will get your bank key, if that makes sense. Level 86 is not something even I reached in the amount of Dead Man I played, and certainly there's 126s running around Dead Man. There's no doubt in that, although I doubt a lot of people... Excuse me. I doubt a lot of people managed 126 just because 99 prayer is kind of a waste. So once you're around level 80, you pretty much have to start, you give up your bank key, and that's fair, I suppose. But again, I don't think there should be a limit. I think this question could be fleshed out a little more and kind of have it be more like if you are 40 combat or below and someone is 40 combat levels higher than you, they can't receive a bank key. That for me makes a little more sense. But whatever, I'm voting no, like I said. Drawing a line in the sand as to how much protection low levels should be given. This is my favorite question. This is the Statius Warhammer coming to old school in a big way. Should the Dragon Warhammer be dropped by a high-level lizard man to be introduced into old school? You're going to need 100% favor in the Shazian house from Zaya. The most important thing about this Warhammer is its special attack. It is 50% energy, and it will take away, if you hit, 30% of their current defense level. Of course, it's a dragon weapon, so you need 60 attack. Once again, seeing the Warhammer stats right in front of you is really important. It's Warhammer speed. It has the same, and if I remember correctly, it has the same strength bonus as an Abyssal Bludgeon, which is really cool. The Bludgeon hits very high, which means that this special attack could actually potentially do a lot of damage, which I find exciting. But more importantly, this special attack has been something that's been missing in old school, percentage-based. And to be fair, it's in the game, but high-level percentage-based defense lowering. So this makes me really excited. As someone who kills Corp a lot, I can't wait. This also gives a goddamn reason to get 100% favor in the Shazian house, so I love it. I love it. Hopefully the Lizard Man is at least somewhat of a challenge. I would like... The D-Warhammer, it should be an expensive weapon, let's put it that way. So hopefully the Lizard Man is somewhat of a challenge. Maybe not. Maybe it'll just be super rare. Who knows? Either way, the next questions are simply teleport spells to be added. I'm going to basically skip over a lot of these. And just kind of, let me see, just make sure. Should a respawn point teleport requiring teleport to wherever you set to respawn? Just making sure I'm not missing some of these. There is one that I don't want to vote yes to. West Arty, yeah. So this is basically adding teleports to the Necromancy book. And it's basically a bunch of places associated with death. This is the big hot button issue, question 19. Should a Barrows teleport happen? I'm totally okay with this because the only way you're going to get there is by spellbook swapping, and I'm assuming you can spellbook swap to the Necromancy book. I'm pretty sure that's a thing. Although I haven't actually checked, but someone teleporting to Barrows is not incredibly useful on the Necromancy book, because you have to either be on Lunar or Necromancy. And as you know, Barrows is a primarily magic-based combat area, so and let's be real, you have nothing to attack with once you get there, unless you're meleeing Barrows, which, shame on you. I'll be that guy. So this is the one I'm voting no to, although, like, I don't know, it's one of these things. The teleport would take you to the flaming pits beneath Apatol and require completion. Again, I'm not super sure how useful this would be to anybody. I'm also not sure if there should be another Apatol teleport in the game. It's kind of redundant to me. So I kind of out of nowhere, I'm voting no to this one. Not really for any particular reason. Again, it's one of those questions that I'd really like to vote I don't care. But for me, it's going to be no. I know that's kind of strange, but once again, I don't understand what the teleport could be used for. Again, I don't really understand what the Barrows teleport could be used for, but it's more of like a harmless thing. Apatol seems like there could be some sort of, I don't know, there might be some manipulation going on in there that would make some ridiculous thing. I don't know. Question 21 is really interesting. Should the spell Wines to Wine of Zamorak, requiring level 55 magic, be added to the Necromancy spellbook? Jagex talked big time about balancing with this, and I have to say that one of the big things with this spell book, or with this spell, excuse me, is Wines of Zamir are heavily botted. The only other place they're coming in the game is through monster drops. This would at least give people a chance to train magic, and it's an alternative magic training method. It would be like the alchemy of it'd be like the alchemy of the Necromancy book. It also kind of gives a place for normal wines to go, so grapes and things like that would increase in value, which can't be a horrible thing. So I'm actually really cool with this spell. I think it's a great way of taking potential profit out of some botters, but also adding an interesting and new way to train magic. So I like it. Same with this question. I really like it. Resurrect crops, really cool. Again, hinges very much on like whether you can spellbook swap while you're on Lunar for this to like really be valuable to you. But definitely something I'd like to see. Basically, bring your crops back from the dead. Level 78 magic, pretty high level requirements, so not something you'll be able to do immediately. Again, the dev blog goes into detail about this question. It's a chance of reviving the dead crop, not a guaranteed thing, and it can only be cast once. So relatively balanced, and of course it would basically be like just replacing the seed like you always do. You just save, depending on of course the cost of the seed that you planted, you would just save the price of the seed occasionally. Question number 23, should an outfit similar to Lumberjack and Prospector be added that gives 2.5% farming boost when all pieces are worn as a reward for playing the Tithe minigame? That is the farming minigame in Zaya, which is already quite strong in terms of XP per hour. I honestly can't imagine that this outfit will be worth it. Most of those outfits are only worth it if you skill past 99, just based on the amount of hours that you spend getting the outfit. So for your average player, it's kind of just a, let me go do something else other than this skill for a little bit, so I will benefit in the long run during the skill. For the like extremely efficient player, these outfits are almost never worth it. Again, unless they're going for like 200 mil. It doesn't take that long, but you get what I'm saying. Their average player who's getting like 13 mil XP, and that's not even your average player, but let's put it this way. On your way to 99, it's really hard for these outfits to be efficient based on the time you're spending. So absolutely, I'm okay with that. I think it's an interesting input, and again, those outfits just kind of make sense to me because, again, they're not really making the skill training faster unless you decide to go past 99. Which once you've gotten there, like I feel like you should have some sort of boost since you're just training for XP. So go for it. Should a seed box, an item capable of storing 6 stacks of different seeds, be added as a reward for the same minigame? Yeah, I love it. It'll make farm runs a little more interesting. You can put all your seeds in one box, and I don't know how it would work using the seeds on the patch, but someone might find a use for it. Go for it. Seems perfectly harmless. Or if you're PVMing, you can throw seeds in the box and only hold up one inventory space. Grape farming, an interesting thing. I'm going to vote yes. Again, I don't really know the details. It's kind of just low-level farming content. It will work when you have higher-level farming. But sure, yeah, man. Why not, basically? Another interesting thing here, would you basically want Graceful to be able to recolor with additional marks of grace? And you can do it based on the house that you have 100% in. Again, go look at the picture. This was actually a player-designed thing, and Jagex literally took it right from the player and was like, boom, in the game, let's do it. So congrats to whoever that was. I don't remember who it is, But Recolored Graceful, why the hell not? Makes people use more Marks of Grace, and it's some content for Zaya, so I like it. Question 27 addresses overpopulation at Wyverns. So can Slayers have a damn Wyvern world or place for themselves? That's what this question is. Absolutely. Give the players a place to kill Wyverns who are on Slayer tasks. Don't make them hop around for years competing against all the campers. Brilliant. Should there be a toggle to filter the boss kill count message from your message box? Absolutely. Please. I don't want it to be filtered when I have my game filtered. I want it always to be there. That's what I want. Please give it to me. And I'm hoping that's what that is. Question 29, should there be a chance of getting a bottle when finishing, or excuse me, when fishing that contains a clue scroll? Basically, fishing clue scrolls, sure, why not? I imagine higher level fish might give hards, lower levels mediums. Cool beans. Second to last question, should we add a permanent ditch contents button to compost bins? Basically, convenience, quality of life update to compost bins. Absolutely, I won't waste your time on it. And finally, should a new animation be added to teleport scrolls? This link shows you a lovely GIF of that animation, I'm sure made by Alfred or Ghost. Looks great, quality of life kind of thing, very old school still, I think, so absolutely. And there's my votes. That's it for Poll Rundown. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you agreed or disagreed with me. As always, keep it civilized in the comments. That's all I ask. Thanks, guys, for watching. Sorry for the lack of RuneScape content. As a friendly reminder, my Dark Souls Let's Play is going up every single day. I know not many of you are watching those videos, but if you are, thank you so much for showing your support for that series. It's a lot of fun for me, so it'll keep coming. And there's probably going to be like 50 episodes long term, so buckle up or unsubscribe, pick your poison. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.